Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect. And with the latest move made by Joe Biden, all right, one of the worst, if not the worst, president in U.S. history. But for us, and for prophecy's sake, he's actually good. But seeing how mainly our people, all right, and you worn out Americans, okay, played out Americans, you all screaming for this guy and acting as if he was the next Jesus Christ. Okay, you were all on board for this guy Biden, screaming, stumping, fighting, all right, and you got what you asked for. And every move he's made has been an assault on you. Okay? And he's through. So when you look at this video, I'm going to play it. It's about a common sense show. I used to watch it more, but I've been real busy lately. But today I finally got a chance to sit down and look at a few. And I thought this one was pretty good. This Edomite is fed up. And you have these kind of Edomites that, ultimately are pissed off at what's going on. All right. They're pissed off at what's going on. That fulfills prophecy. All right. I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Okay. So here's another move that this guy has made that really, at the end of the day, though on the surface, it sounds like he's heroic and he's doing a great deal. Because let's be honest, speaking of what's going on with Russia, them cutting, Biden has cut and halted the importing oil from Russia, as if that's going to hurt Russia. Okay, it's not going to hurt Russia, it's going to hurt you. Right? So the title of the video is the most crippling economic move yet. And you have a lot of these American companies shutting off, receiving anything from Russia. Okay, that's not going to do anything but make it worse for America. Okay, Russia is getting money from the East. They're good off without Babylon the Great. Now it's good money. Don't get it twisted. But Russia doesn't need America. That doesn't hurt Russia. Russia could sell more oil to Iran. Germany, whatever. But the bottom line is this move that he's made is only going to make things worse for you worn down Americans, man. Okay? You Mountain Dew drinking Americans, man. Okay? So Biden's most crippling economic move. All right? We're going to play it.
Don't forget communication, too. So we have a presidential decision. I'm saving America. I'm saving Ukraine. I cut off their oil. Well, yeah, right. First of all, let me tell you this. Russia sends oil to Iran, and Iran sells it. Who's going to be the wiser? Nobody. It's like when you were banned from going to Cuba all those years. So people would just fly to Mexico City and fly into Havana.
Right.
There was no ban on that. Absolutely crazy what he's doing. And let me tell you this, even if the move to stop importing Russian oil, even if that could have an effect on the war effort, you know how long it would take? Oh, I have this from my military experts, but I also know because I know the time most oil is.
Right. So like what he's saying is, what is Biden doing this going to do for that war over there? If there was going to be serious all-out war, that wouldn't have anything to do with it. If in truth be told, if Russia wanted to destroy Ukraine, they could do it already. They could pretty much they run pretty much all of their grids. So Russia, if they wanted to, they could turn the lights out, nigga. You don't have no electricity. If you were at war, okay, would you allow your enemy to have light? No. Absolutely not. So it's a lot of propaganda, man. But Biden has shut down, imports of Russian oil as if that's going to help anything. And they're using the TV and propaganda to make Russia out to be the bad guy so that it's justified and that you accept this agenda, which we're going to show you as you listen to this video what it's all about. Okay? These people are playing you. And the American people are so stupid, they're falling for it. Now Putin in Russia is the boogeyman. Now Crown Royale 2019, that's not even important anymore. Now you could just take off your mask and go to work, but gas is $7. So who loses in the end is the American people.
Taken out of the ground until it ends up in use is about 6 months. That's the answer. 6 months. The Ukraine war won't go on 6 months. Those people won't last that long.
Right.
They won't. Russia will eventually overwhelm them. I'm sorry to say that. Now, will it evolve into guerrilla war? Yeah, but do you understand this is a nothing burger?
Right.
Except for America.
If there was real war, okay, and if Russia was really a threat in that sense, all right, come on now. They would have been stopped. Russia would have stopped exporting oil to America. If you're at war if Russia is hardcore really at war with America or at war with Ukraine, they would have cut the ties that they had with them. Right? So what is this really all about? All right, now don't get it twisted. War is in the air. It's nothing more than a rumor of war. That's it. All right, but in the grand scheme of things, the Lord is working and war is being ramped up. Don't get it twisted.
See, Biden's not punishing Russia by doing this. They'll still take Ukraine through overwhelming force. Eventually, they'll wear them down. I wished it weren't true, but that's the reality. A lot of us don't want to admit that because we're all rooting for the Ukrainian.
Ukraine is right on the borders of. Come on now. If they wanted to, I mean, if it was really about a war, they would be out of there, through, quick.
Citizens, because we see the horrible conditions they're living under, and I'm right there with you. I identify with that.
And that's a lot of propaganda. They're putting a lot of fake stories out to make as if Russia is just all these Ukrainian women are having to go to war and dying. It's a lot of propaganda, man. So that you Americans and through the media, which is witchcraft, could really think, oh man, look at these poor people. And when Biden comes and does something like this and shuts off oil imports from Russia, you'll be like, wow, he's a hero. That's what they're doing all of that shit for. All right? When really the squeeze is coming. And plus they want everybody to have electric cars after a certain time. And what is that all a part of? We'll see.
And I want Ukraine to repulse Russia too. Although Ukraine's not a clean actor, believe me.
Right.
But the people don't deserve it. Doesn't your heart just go out when you see the evacuations and the pain and agony on the faces and you see the dead kids?
And this dude he's a hardcore red-blooded American. And they act like they're so loving. Oh, man.
In the street, doesn't your heart just break? I know it does. But Biden did nothing for that today. What he did today was he made your price of gas start going up dramatically.
Yep.
The futures market will react to this, and you'll see gas go up at least $1 in the next week.
Yep.
We've been going up at about 15-20 cents a gallon every day in the Phoenix area, and I live north of Phoenix, out in the rural area, which I have to drive to go anywhere, which is a pain, economic pain. But Biden did nothing but punish you. Do you understand that? There's now less oil to choose from.
Right.
I just can't believe this. And people go, hooray, 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 he cut off the oil. Isn't that great? Yeah, but see, last summer, when it was really clear that Russia was preparing to invade Ukraine, they amassed in April, and they started drilling in June. And when they did that, Biden should have said, you got 30 days to stop, and if you don't, we're going to cut your oil off. And then he turns around to American oil companies and said, okay, we're in an emergency. I've got to reverse my policy, and we've got to produce more oil. We would have had a seamless transition to cutting off Russia's oil. Folks, this doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. I'm no smarter than the next person.
Right.
Everyone on Biden's, I don't think Biden knows. Seriously, I don't know what he knows, but it's not very much. I mean, he's in such a degraded condition, but his staff knows. His staff knows just what I told you. And they're punishing you. They're not punishing Putin. They're punishing you. Your gas prices go up. Why? Because he wants you out of cars. He doesn't want cars to be driven. Now, that's not a conspiracy theory. They campaigned on this. Kamala Harris said between 2025 and 2030, Americans will be out of their cars. It's happening sooner than that, thanks to Ukraine. So,
You hear that?
I want you to take this to heart.
Now, what is that all about? Because these, SMART, all right, cities are coming. And we all know what that's linked to, the Charagma. Okay? The fourth industrial revolution. Okay? Where the world doesn't so much change, but humans change. And everything you do, all right, every place you go, it will be tracked. Okay? Calculated. Rationed. There's only so far you can drive. There's only so far you can go. So much food you'll have a week, a month. So much water, so much energy, so much CO2 emission. And that's pretty much going to be the salvation of this new demic, all right, plan, which is, ultimately the whole CO2 thing, the global warming. And they're moving fast because, look, we're at the end. Esau is the end of the world. And this is all mischief. This is the mischievous man the scriptures speak about. This is the man of sin being revealed. Okay? And it's not so much Biden. It's the elites. It's the elites. Okay? But all of these moves that they're making, they're going to lose a grip. Okay?
Biden is punishing you by doing this.
Right.
Because by the time Russia would say, oh, yeah, that little bit of American oil, that hurts a little bit, war's over. The Russian flag is over the capital city. That's reality. And no one's going to do enough to turn this tide. All we're doing with supplying Ukraine with weapons is we're delaying the inevitable, and the death toll is mounting. But I will tell you this too. I think whether the Ukrainians fight or they surrender, the death toll will be about the same. Russia's not going to give them a peaceful occupation.
No.
Anyone who has Russian blood or a Russian name or Russian relatives will probably be executed for being an enemy of the state. This is the Russian way, folks. And you don't know this, you don't know Russian history. They have never been humane, neither with their own people or the people they conquered. Have you ever seen the World War II stories? Now, I understand revenge was in Russia's mind, but when Russia swept across Germany, hide your women, because if you don't, you'll never see them again.
Yeah, the Russians are rough. All right, they're a different kind of Edomite. All right, I would love to drop a lot of you Babylonian women off over there, all right, for 2 years. Okay, just take you on an airplane, act like we're going on a big time vacation, drop you off in Russia and fly back. And see how you fare over there with the attitude you have over here in the West. You see? But this is ultimately, he's heaping unto him all people, man. All right, they're bringing a squeeze. When it's all said and done, you'll have nothing. You'll be begging. Okay, you'll be on your knees begging for 8% of what you had before. So this didn't hurt Russia like that. Who's it hurting? You Americans. Now it's become the common joke. You go to Instagram, you go to YouTube, and some of them be funny. All right. One of them had the gas light on and it said, "This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." You know. But pretty soon it's gonna be like, "Oh shit, damn." The meat's gonna go. All of the food's getting ready to get higher and higher and higher. See? Through. It's about to be crazy out here, man. And y'all gonna be like, damn, they were right. Okay, and there's a lot of people saying these things, but we know how to link it all to biblical prophecy. Anyway.
The occupation of Berlin was brutal. It was terrible. Ukrainian women are going through the same thing right now. So this whole thing with Biden, what a flipping joke he is. He should be stepping up production. Now, here's a lie I want to expose before I close. The wonderful genius known as Joe Biden said, "I'm not stopping domestic oil production." I guess I must have hallucinated when I heard of the Keystone Pipeline, ANWR, Alaskan oil, and so forth. I guess I must have been hallucinating. But also he says there's 9,000 oil fields that can be. Yeah, let me tell you what all the oil industry is saying. We can't drill out of that because we'll lose money because of all of Biden's regulations that he put on this process when he came into office. If he steps before the microphone, believe the opposite of what he's saying. He is a liar. We already know he's a despicable human being. We already know he's a traitor to this.
And all of you Edomites are, all right? But the Lord has it set up to where the Egyptian is going to be against the Egyptian. All right? But yeah, that's how he's operating, all right? Remember, when you go into Scripture, the book of Revelation 13, there's going to be a lot of propaganda and lies and deceit before war breaks out. All right, it's a lot. As you know, as the scriptures say, the Lord doesn't move one measure until the other measure is filled. You know, so we got to be patient. But we are in those times. But it's funny, we were mocked for going into prophecy too much. Now we saying, hold up, this ain't fully it. Now we want to be here forever. Now we're scared, you know. Now we don't want the end to come. It's like a nigga is going to always be a nigga, man. Y'all just wait till them chicken wings get it, you know, for a 6-piece, it's $34. Then you niggas ain't going to be commenting so much. Revelation 13. Oh. In 11. This is another beast out of the earth. This is the little horn spoken of in Daniel the 7th chapter. The revival of Rome. It says, "And I beheld another beast." Okay, and when you look up this word beast, real quick, the therion. Yeah, therion, an animal, wild animal, metaphorically a brutal, bestial, savage man, ferocious. This is Esau. Where in the scriptures does it describe Japhet as the man of sin? You know, the one whom the Lord has indignation forever. You know, brutal. You know, no, the Edomites were. All right, this is speaking of Esau, man. He's the ruler of this beast system. Anyway, and I beheld another beast coming out up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And we always go into this. The 2 horns like a lamb, you know, is just 2 political systems. Okay, in Rome you had the plebeians and the patricians. Here you have the Democrats and the Republics. Now there's other parties, but those are the two they constantly put before you and give you a false sense of freedom, a false sense, an illusion of freedom, an illusion of choice. Which the fact that you even going and voting shows that he got your mind. If you really are going to the podium like, man, let me see, who am I? I'm not doing it. Are you into the argument of who's gonna make America greater? They got you. Your vote is only ultimately they just want your energy, your soul. They want you to be, look at them and see some, a form of help. Like you want you to really feel like you giving your them your vote. All right, as you believing in them for your safety, for your future, for your children. And they've constantly screwed you. So he has two horns like a lamb. A lamb is what? Something meek. All right, that the friendly, right? But he speaks as a dragon, going back to draconian law. And that's what's getting ready to be put forth in the earth, draconian measures. In order for them to establish what they're trying to establish, they need draconian measures. All right, you can look up draconian measures. Somebody put it on the comment board. What are draconian measures? Draco, going back to Athens, Greece. All right, where democracy started, pretty much, when you go back to it. And he was known for his severe code. All right. So the Greeks are back, right? The Greeks and the Romans were Edomites. So they're back ruling, all right, with that same energy. The Senate's back. Antiochus is back, we believe. So he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay? His harsh moral code. Okay? His harsh codes of rule, man. He's a demon. So that's all that's going to come from this
country. And now he's looking you in the eye through the camera and flat lying to you. The oil companies would love to be able to produce more. They want the money. They want the money. But if they can't afford to take it out of the ground because of all the restrictions put on them, and it just sits there, then Biden telling you that that it's up to them. And by the way, he blamed the oil companies for the high gas prices. Let's see, you cut energy independence. We have to buy more expensive oil. The gas prices go up. That affects the price of shipping everything. So now your economy begins to overheat and hyperinflate. And excuse me, how's that the fault of the oil companies? I don't defend the oil companies. I don't like them. They have a history of being robber barons that goes back 2 centuries. However, in this instance, the oil companies are not your enemy. It's this administration that's your enemy.
That's right.
And they're wrecking our country. And it's deliberate. They're trying to turn us into a third world country.
Bring it out.
It's not, no longer can we say this is just pure incompetence. There's just too many lies that have been told that are out there. And everything I'm saying is now in the mainstream media.
Yep. Speaking of the Greeks, Daniel 8:25, and through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his mind, and by peace shall he destroy many. Now this is speaking of Antiochus, what was going on at the time of Antiochus? Hellenization, where you had to come up under an order. Okay, you had to come up under a particular way. Okay, when you go into other Greco history, there was a point where they would brand people. In order to be a part of the society, you would have to have a brand. Well, let's look that up real quick. Let's go to the word stigma. Remember, it's chi-sized stigma, right? In the book of Revelation 13, right? Stigma. Remember 666 chi-sized stigma. Stigma, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or stamp of their master, commander, branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their god. So, like the brand, Esau would put on a runaway slave to say, this is my property. All right. So the Greeks was into that. Right? So what's the modern day way of that ruler, of that way of ruling? What's the modern day brand, so to speak? You be the judge. If that which is then is now, how does that play out with what you see before you? What are they trying to force upon? What's going to be the new Hellenization? Anyway, now this is Daniel 8:25, speaking of Antiochus, who was a Greek, all right, of the Seleucid Empire, one of the 4 generals of Alexander, who was a real figure. Everybody knows Alexander the Great exists, right? Well, where can his history be found? In the Bible. So, and through his policy, also he can cause craft. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his mind, and by peace shall he destroy many. This is what Biden's doing. He's acting like he's bringing you peace, but he's destroying you all. Doing the bidding of the elite to ultimately get you under that order. To first to have you on your knees, okay, begging, willing to submit, and we know what the order is going to be. It says, he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. Okay, and that's going to happen in this time, with them trying to fight the second coming of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, and they came against the temple in that time, man. So let's finish this video out.
Because even some of the media is turning on this. Yeah, Timothy says Biden's been lying for years. Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. The liar in chief, also the thief in chief, stealing your kid's future. I'm just looking at some of your comments here you're writing in on, and it's absolutely amazing. I can't believe that so many people here are so knowledgeable, and you are. You guys are saying incredibly intelligent things here. Vengeance on us for wanting to continue with Trump's plan. Yeah, energy independence, being feared by other nations, but trade continues, but on our terms. Gee, wouldn't it be nice to have a leader like that again? You saw who he released today from Guantanamo, didn't you? He released an accused co-conspirator for 9/11. Thanks, Biden. Thanks, Biden. The 3,000 people that died, do you know they probably touched 100,000 lives? You just spit in their face today, Biden. The elite have proven dying does not bother them. Oh, no, it does not bother them at all. Absolutely not. And the same's true with the UN. The UN should be in Ukraine right now supervising a refugee evacuation. Now, they claim, and I've seen some proof of it, but we don't know who set the bombs. I can't say for sure. But there are landmines. Daisy Luther talked about this on my radio show that will air tomorrow. Daisy was talking about the fact that they're putting landmines on the roads where the refugees are vacating from. That's true. Now, who's putting them there? Some say Ukrainian Nazis, possible. But they're looking the people that are evacuating as being deserters, unloyal to the cause. But wait a minute. Most of the people I see walking down those roads are old people and women and children. So I don't think they'd make very good conscripts. So that argument that it's all the Nazi Ukrainians, no, I don't think so. I think there's some mean-spirited Russians. And this is the kind of thing they did in Afghanistan. It's not a stretch to believe any of this because we saw horrible human rights.
Anyway, you know, America's going to be destroyed, man. That's the bottom line. You know, and you Edomites are at the end of the road, you know. So I just wanted to go into that, you know, Lord willing. It was edifying. You can check out his channel, you know, if you want to. If not, don't, you know. But I just want to bring that out, man. Shalom.